Okay, welcome to my new series. It's to introduce all my tarot and oracle decks to you, show you the symbolism and what I like about each one. I decided to start with one that's actually more traditional. I normally don't resonate with anything that's the Rider Waite Smith, but I picked this deck up from a store called Five Below, and it came with a book, like an actual book, not booklet, and it's based off of the original artwork. I'm going to read the back for you after I show you. That's what the box looks like. It's pretty nice. It says, it's 78 cards, major and minor arcana. They tell a story, a journey of life with the figures and symbols representing different characters' experiences, and how there's individual symbolic meanings. And it says it relates to playing card decks, but I know those are read differently. And they also have these little sayings on the bottom kind of help you, but I don't always agree with that because I'm channeled other information or my attention's drawn to something else, some small detail in the card, which makes, mental connections, and that's how I will interpret it. But I will go through and show you the cards. And I put everything in order. I used to do that after every reading, and I stopped doing that for a while, but as a way to clear the deck. Alright, so starting with the major arcana, we have the Fool, and it says good friends, happiness, needing to take a giant leap forward. Okay, yeah, giant leap forward. Then we have the Magician. Element of surprise, good or bad. That's normally like the Tower. The Magician for me is normally like having the power to change your reality. The High Priestess. The highest card in the tarot deck, which I can't really say that everyone agrees with that. And honestly, it depends on the reading and who the client is, Very powerful, good or bad secrets to be revealed. Yes. Also resonates with intuition. Almost kind of like an Empress, but less of a creative energy and more of a just receptive. Then we have the Empress. Delays will prove necessary. Like, I have never seen that before. With, Empress, it's usually creativity, fertility, etc. And, like, the highest female energy, like, you're fully manifested. So, that's a bizarre twist that they put on it. Not saying it can't come up like that, but it's not the usual. Then we have the Emperor. And it says stability or stabilizing influence coming into your life. Yes, definitely. A very well manifested man. Hierophant. Marriage, yeah. Government or public company. Body corporate, which, basically a company. Official building or official situation, government, bureaucracy, religion, that kind of stuff. Or, the marriage thing. The Lovers. Love affairs, romance building again within a marriage, relationship, relatives, loving relationship you could share with a friend. In other readings, it could be like a choice or whatever because it's Gemini card. But but they don't show any of that. The Chariot. Movement of residents. Yes, I definitely see the Chariot more of a movement thing than a nurturing. Journey. Victory over a situation or a problem. Balancing the opposite polarities. Obviously the black and white. Strength card. Inner strength. Confrontation with yourself or other people, which is more like, you know, wands or swords kind of thing, but I mean, it could happen. Especially if it's like Leo, ego kind of stuff, but looks a lot more gentle than what they're implying there. The Hermit. Loneliness, unattached, soul-searching, time needed or time alone. The Virgo card usually does have that symbolism. It's pretty common. So that lines with most. Wheel of Fortune. Elevation of money, overseas trip, completion phases. I often see this as like a fate card, but, you know, cycles. Justice. Legal situation or document, police finding out the truth in the matter, affecting the balance. Yep, yeah, Libra. Hanged Man. Getting stronger in oneself after a lot of deliberating and delaying in your life. Yeah, like, you know, you're hung up on stuff and then you gain a new perspective. Death card, also known as a Scorpio card. This never scares me because I resonate a lot with Scorpio. Death or situation or endings, new beginnings. Obviously, death is, you know, more of a new beginning. There's like a rebirth. Definitely the renewal. Okay. Temperance. Money restrictions, testing the waters. Also like self-control, willpower, patience, you know, those kind of things. And you don't have to agree with my interpretations, you know, everybody gets their own feelings off the cards. The Devil, which a lot of people see as negative, the Capricorn card, that's my Sun, Mars, and Mercury, so I tend to see as more of a Capricorn energy. The stereotypical obsession with like money and status, yeah, not always. Not always with us. So, jealousy or trouble, able to break the chains that are binding you or holding you back. And a lot of times we put ourselves in situations. We may not listen to our intuition and we get stuck in situations, but we also have the power to get ourselves out. The Tower. Catastrophe, accident, things happening very quickly at lightning pace. The Tower is not always negative. I mean, you're not always like falling to your death. Come on, like seriously. The Tower can be a positive sudden change too, but I mean, it might be something hard to deal with. Even positive sudden changes in our life can actually trigger the grief process, which may not make sense to anyone that isn't studying psychology, but some people panic when they finally get or are about to get what they've always wished for because they're so used to not having it, and then like fears and doubts creep in. So, you know, that brings up a whole host of other issues. Okay, Star card. Brightness, hope, could bring excesses, so be careful not to become too greedy. Usually like the wish card, Aquarius. Everyone has their little thing for the star card. Literally becoming a star, don't let it go to your head. The moon. Deception or delays. Emotions up or down may be deceiving yourself emotionally or others. Like others deceiving you or you're deceiving others. That seems like a very negative way of seeing like the moon. I see the moon more as reflecting the light, a more gentle way of revealing the truth than, the blinding light of the sun. That's because of my own experiences with sun. Too much time in it and I pass out. My eyes are very, very sensitive to light. All my senses are pretty sensitive, so that, obviously colors the way I see the moon. But definitely emotion. And the sun, generally seen as like the most positive card. Marriage, which, okay, sure, maybe. Happiness and bright prospects. Like inner child too, truth, those kind of things. They don't mention everything, obviously. Okay, the judgment card. Decisions pending finality. The only decision that can be made under the circumstances. I see this kind of lining up with like the justice card. And it's more out of your hands, more universal than 3D kind of a thing. And then we have the world card. Overseas trip, which, okay, I can see that. Money, luck, world in the palm of your hand, new opportunities. Or like everything culminating, which is a good thing. And I'm just gonna like stack these up and make it so I can mix them up and shuffle them next time I use them. And we're heading into the minor arcana now. One thing I do like about the cards here is they have like an old-timey oil painting kind of detail to them, like all that cracked stuff. So it's like more of a softer, less bright in your face kind of feel to them. But it is still traditional Rider Waite Smith kind of symbolism. Alright, so Ace of Cups. Security, helping hand. For me, this is more self-love. That comes up a lot when people are asking about, how does this person feel about me? Do you see a future? If I see Ace of Cups, depending on what else is there, I'm always going to remind them to love themselves first. Now, Two of Cups is more, mutual energy. Peace of mind, joining of two people. You see the Caduceus too, and the Lion for strength. So, there's also that. Three of Cups. Some people can see like that's third party energy, emotions. Depends on what else is being pulled up. So celebration, bright happenings. Kind of have a weird way of saying things, but yeah, gathering of friends. Four of Cups. Money fluctuations, which I don't see why it would be money because it's not pentacles. But, I mean, the emotions attached to money could be relevant. So being offered something you may not want or not seeing an opportunity that's being offered. A lot of times, like, the cup isn't being looked at, so, like, you don't even notice the opportunity. Not that you're rejecting it, it's just you don't even see it. But, it could be either or. Either way, you're missing out. Five of Cups, money losses, again, it's not pentacles, but the emotional reaction to losing your stability. All is not lost, obviously. Don't focus on the negative stuff. If you look behind you, you have something to salvage. Always something to remember with that. It's like, stop focusing on the negative. Six of Cups, happy house, childhood memories. And a lot of times it comes up, twin flame, past life relationship. Because, someone you knew in childhood and then you reunite later when you've grown a little bit. That bond is still there, but it's grown stronger because of your life experiences. So you can kind of see why that is too. Seven of Cups. All that glitters is not gold. Look beyond the clouds. Money improvements. Again, bringing up money on Cups cards when it's about emotions. Yes, okay, if improvements are happening, you're going to be happy about it. But this is usually a card of options and all these different things to choose from. You may not be able to choose more than one cup, so you got to choose wisely. Eight of Cups, usually the walking away card, the FU, I'm done with it kind of thing. Here we go again with the money problems. More of a walking away from situation, turning your back and walking away, knowing nothing more can be done. This is when you've had it, you've had enough, and your emotions that you've invested, you've already given enough. You want to walk away with at least 2 cups for yourself. Okay, so 9 of Cups. Improvements underway, feeling smug or pleased. Like, smugness is not necessarily positive, but usually this is like individual happiness. Okay, for me, the 9. 10 of Cups is more of a relationship and that kind of happiness. Good things, party or celebration, finally getting everything you wanted. Page of Cups. Young woman to 25 years, basic good news. Water sign, doesn't necessarily have to be someone under that age, but like young, emotionally immature sometimes energy. It's not necessarily a bad thing, just inexperienced maybe. Knight of Cups. Young man to 25 years, needing more confidence. I mean, at least he's making moves, The Knight is at least making moves. Then we have Queen of Cups, woman over 25 years, assuming, emotional stability. Blue eyes, fair brown hair, soft, gentle, motherly. I mean, you can't always go by the description. That doesn't always apply. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's more about the energy for me, not, superficial things. But, if people are asking for, like, a description, you can always pull this deck out and be like, okay, we'll see what it says. Okay, so, man over 25 years, blue eyes, fair or brown hair, gentle, emotional, shy. King isn't always shy, but, he's at least emotionally mature. So, again, I'm just going to stack these up, kind of mixing them up so they shuffle for the next reading. I kind of, cleared the energy as I was putting them in order, so they're all fresh and clean for new readings. So, we're heading into Pentacles now. We got the Ace of Pentacles, money coming, divine wish being granted, a gift from the universe, for a money or 3D type thing, something, not always financial, something tangible though. 2 of Pentacles, money, confusion, juggling 2 situations or ideas around. 2 jobs, a job in school, get off my card. A job and relationship, school in a relationship. Anything you have to learn to balance. Three of Pentacles, improvements underway, but delays around it. I don't know why they would say delays for a lot of these things, but it's kind of funny. There's been delays, especially when I picked this deck up, so it obviously resonated with me at the time. Haven't really used it in a while. So, yeah, delays, renown, glory, place of worship. Not necessarily, but I could be doing like a little bit of charity work, sure, if you want to go with that symbolism. Four of Pentacles, money improvements, more coming your way. But he's kind of like, other than the one on his head, kind of clinging to that stuff. So that's when you first start making money on your job and you're kind of like saving it and not wanting to spend it. Sometimes you have to, though. Five of Pentacles, delays around money coming in from the cold. That's the more positive thing. Like, they see that and they're going for the help. In other decks and other interpretations, they're walking past the abundance that they could be offered. So it just depends on what else is around and the actual symbol in the card. You can kind of see them walking past it, but, you know, who knows if they actually saw it and are looking for the door. So, like, don't miss the blessings you could be offered. Six of Pentacles, raise in money or salary. Like, you know, your hard work is paying off. Seven of Pentacles, work frustrations, hard work needing to be done either at work or a situation in life. I mean, he's kind of standing there staring at his harvest, though. So, I mean, it could also be you've already put in the work and you're just waiting for it to, you know, be ready to collect on. Like, yeah, you know, up until they started offering these cards where you can get your paycheck early or you can borrow from your paycheck without too much interest. You know, thank God for, like, internet technology, I guess. You know, it used to be like, oh, God, I gotta wait at least a week to collect on the money I earned, or 2 weeks. And now, sometimes some apps, they let you collect for the hours you've already worked. Imagine that. Eight of Pentacles, work, paid work. So getting to the point where you're seeing a more immediate or abundant payback on your investment because you're more experienced. You're kind of like automating what you're doing. You don't have to think as hard. You don't have to put as much effort into it. It just flows a lot easier. Nine of Pentacles, peace of mind and contentment. That comes from having financial stability, where you're not worried about if bills are going to get paid. You know, it's more of the emotions coming from knowing that you can afford to keep living where you are and, you know, the kind of lifestyle you're used to. Ten of Pentacles, money contentment, signing of money agreement, like a huge contract, like starting your own business, getting a business loan, getting a huge payout, new work contract, something like that. Or even, you know, hooking up with someone that's very financially stable. Page of Pentacles, young woman to 25 years. You know, pages are now in this deck, you know, young women. Student, male or female. So yeah, when you're learning a trade, you're a page. Knight of Pentacles. He's kind of just chilling there. Young man up to 25 years. Visitors, message to share. Visitors, I mean, traditionally, yeah, you bring a little gift if you're visiting someone for whatever reason. Just be like, here, thanks for having me by, you know. Message is more like, would be more like swords for me, but, you know, tangible something. Movement forward in a 3D kind of way. Queen of Pentacles, woman over 25 years, dark eyes and dark hair, professional, business, domineering. Yeah, she's all focused on the monies. She can definitely be like that. King of Pentacles, dark eyes, dark hair, business, arrogance, powerful. It could be arrogant, not necessarily, So, earth signs obviously will come up as court cards. Or someone that's resonating with that kind of energy. Like, you could be any sign, but you're focused on making money, then you'd come up, as more of an earth sign because of the money aspect. Likewise, with any other suit, whatever your energy is currently, you're going to come up as that, not necessarily whatever your sun sign or whatever other sign you can come up as. So, now, Ace of Swords, frustrations, double-edged sword, hollow victory. I definitely don't resonate with that traditional, that kind of thing. There's, like, for me, it's more truth, finding out the truth, a truthful communication, straightforward, it can be tactless, I guess, in some ways. But I don't see the negative connotation to it. Two of Swords, peace and harmony, needing to take the blindfold off, keep reassessing the situation at hand. More of a making a choice for me. The Two of Swords has been like, try to make a choice when it comes up. Three of Swords, of course, the third party thing, deception, frustration, jealousy, broken heart, betrayal, that kind of negative stuff. And what happens after that is the Four of Swords, needing to take a step back and rest. Sickness, bed illness, needing to take time out. Rest and relaxation is needed. That's what happens after the Three of Swords. You take your other sword and cut that out and then go rest. Five of Swords, losses. All is not lost as you still have three swords remaining, giving you the upper hand. So, I mean, it could be arguments and whatever, but it's not complete loss. It's not Ten of Swords yet. Six of Swords. Now, this kind of, like, freaks me out. It's like, you got a bunch of swords sticking in about, why would you want to get in there? That's like, holes in it. But if, it might actually be better to leave them in there, even though they weigh it down and create holes. Because if you pull them out, then the holes are bigger. So, anyways, it's supposed to be moving away from a bad situation. A boat or over water travel. Turning boat out of troubled waters into calmer waters. They've got someone ferrying them. It's not always like that, but it's always like, there's swords in the boat. Maybe look for a more stable boat. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you just gotta go with what you got. But, it could be a difficult decision to move on from something. Like, you feel burdened, but, the way you have to leave, you're still carrying some of the burden. And then you have to pull them out and get rid of the damage later, once you move away. Seven of Swords, plans, hopes, wish card, highest minor arcana. No, not for me. Not the Seven of Swords. That's like a thieving energy. I wouldn't call that high vibe. The dude's like taking a bunch of swords and sneaking off. So, no, definitely not a high vibe thing for me. Eight of Swords, frustrations, feeling bound and gagged, but you're not even surrounded by the swords here. And really, if you kind of lean one way or the other, you could cut the ropes, you could take the blindfold off, you could walk away. So it's like in your head. Nine of Swords, fears and frustrations, letting go of emotions. Like, this is when you get to the point of like just wanting to go home and cry after a bad day, where you can't stop thinking about all kinds of things causing anxiety, but you're not quite to crisis level. You're just like overwhelmed and stuck in negative thought patterns. Ten of Swords is like huge betrayal, or you are so over the situation. Death or ending of situation or relationship. Like, yeah, it's huge burdens, being stabbed in the back, literally, that kind of thing. But that's pretty much, it resonates with most other readings. Page of Swords. Again, young woman, 25 years. Spying or deception. You get stalker, and stalker's not always a bad thing. Could be someone interested in you, just don't know how to approach you. But that's kind of creepy, regardless of how good their intentions are. Reflecting back over your shoulder. Okay, I can go with that. Knight of Swords is all like, woo, let's do this. Young man to 25 years, speedy situation or finish. Or, you know, I see that as more of a communication card, like someone wants to, like, talk to you really, really bad. So, he's running with that message. Queen of Swords, the bitch card. Woman over 25 years, I definitely resonate with her a lot. Brown eyes, brown hair, cold, hard, demanding authority. Or someone who's just tired of everything and just done with dealing with it and cuts people off with her head. You know, that kind of thing. King of Swords, man over 25 years, brown eyes, brown hair, cold, abrasive, demands respect. Like, very logical, very, like, my way or the highway, just as bad as her, sometimes worse. Come on. These are bigger cards than most of my other decks, which means I can't fit as many on the screen as nicely. Last suit. This is becoming a long video. I didn't know it was going to be like that. Ace of Wands, new beginnings, birth, new ideas, creation. Look, it's like a flower on there. Two of Wands, short journey, movement to or near water. Okay, what? Not necessarily, but can also be like making a decision between two things, two courses of action. Three of Wands, travel over land, serving your kingdom. I mean, I don't see much fire in that, like, except for the travel. Four of Wands, also known as 1111, twin flame union, etc. Happy home, possible country setting. I'm all for the country setting. Cool with that idea. But yeah, it's like usually stability, kind of like symbolizing a marriage. That's pretty traditional. Five of Wands, arguments, battles around you. It's not always a legit argument or fight. It could just be like sparring, testing yourself, good-natured competition too. It just depends on what else is being pulled around it. Six of Wands, letter or news coming, victory, news. Victory news, really? Weird way of speaking, I guess. So yeah, good things happening. Seven of Wands, frustrations, you are able to overcome this frustration. You are on top of the situation. So at least he's got the advantage of being on higher ground, even though all this stuff's coming at him. Eight of Wands, we also get like arrows coming at him. Speedy news or situation, arrows of love, like what? I don't know if those would be arrows of love necessarily. I'd kind of like duck and run for cover. But, I mean, sure. I mean, if there's other cards supporting what they're saying, then I'll interpret it that way. But personally, I'd probably be like, what the hell? Nine of Wands. Undecided, need to take a step out of the situation, then you'll see more clearly. Like, you have too much on your plate. with the Nine of Wands, you're way too busy. You really need to focus on something. That's usually what I get. The Ten of Wands is even more weighed down to the point where you can't move at all. Like, everything's dragging. Not just confusion, but you're just like, I can't do it. And then you drop everything, which is not good. That's kind of like, almost like the Ten of Swords, but you did it to yourself. Usually the Ten of Swords is done by someone else. Page of Wands, young woman to 25 years, travel overland. Yeah, could be. Knight of Wands, young man, 25 years, important letter. Yeah, it could be communication or, just really young passion and energy. Like, he can be all, like, ready to get going, and you're just like, whoa, dial it back a little bit. Queen of Wands, woman over 25 years, green eyes, blonde to red hair, positive, fiery, outspoken, the one who gets attention, but it's usually not a bad thing. And King of Wands, man over 25 years, green eyes, blonde to red hair, restless, outspoken, ambitious. Kind of like, Sagittarius, Aries, that kind of thing, depending on how evolved. So that is that deck, and despite disagreeing with some of the captions on there, it's it's a pretty nice deck. The card stock is a little thin for the size of the cards, but considering there's a booklet and they're not a huge size, it's actually a nice deck, especially when you consider you're getting it for $5. You can't beat that. Not when it's brand new. It's hard enough to find used deck for less than 10, depending on what it is. But yeah, $5 for a brand new deck. And the artwork isn't half bad. I really like the aesthetic of the, oil paintings, even though it's the traditional Rider Waite Smith kind of stuff. For someone who's just learning, having those little captions on there might be helpful, but you still need to tap into your own intuition, especially when you're reading for clients, because it's not always going to be a very traditional thing. Like, little details might catch their attention, so that's going to be more relevant to the situation. And, if they chose the deck, or, if you just believe that they would show up whenever you're using that deck and ask for a reading when you're going live, there's something about that specific deck to get the reading that would mean something to them. So can't always rely on the booklet or captions on the cards and be strict with the interpretation. So that's the Secrets of the Tarot that's available through a store called Five Below. That was like over a year ago. I don't know if they still have it anywhere, but that's where I found it. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see what deck is next.